Everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Snapchat. As always, I'm joined today by none other than Cozy Gamer. How you doing today, Cozy?
What's up, man? Feeling good. It was Thanksgiving, so I'm feeling full of turkey over here, bud. And huge week for Snap, man. Huge week for Snap. So
Yeah, unbelievable week.
I always say this, but this is the week I was looking forward to talking with you the most, man. How was your just regular Thursday?
Yeah, it's I know for you guys, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to all our American friends. I'm Canadian. We had Thanksgiving a couple weeks ago. I think we should just have Thanksgiving at the same time because I don't know about you guys, but basically we're like the US's little hat, right? Because we get all the we hear everything that's going on in the States. We watch American TV. I mean, all our shopping kind of we have Black Friday just like you guys do, and Cyber Monday is the same in Canada. So it's funny because it's your Thanksgiving and everyone's kind of still celebrating up here. So we kind of get two Thanksgivings.
Yeah. Well, it's great, and guys, that's why the video is delayed a little bit compared to when we usually have it out. I think we're gonna continue to start doing the a day that you guys can depend on. But Alex, we got some fun subjects, bud. What are we talking about today?
All right. So first of all, for those that are new to the series, welcome. This is a podcast audio version coming soon. We're working on it. But basically the way it works is that we have 6 topics we're talking about. We're going to talk about 3 topics on my channel. And then on 3 topics, we're going to be speaking about, I just phrased that horribly, but basically we're going to talk about the other 3 topics on Cozy's channel. And I'll be providing a link at the end of this video. And there's going to be a link in the description. There's going to be a link in the comments. If you look anywhere, you're going to find a link to Cozy's video. And on our channel, we're going to discuss the best and worst pool 4 cards, or series 4 cards. That's going to take some getting used to. Net decking with tokens. And we're finally the most anticipated roadmap update. Cozy, what are we talking about on your end?
Dude, I love you, Alex. We're gonna need. We're talking on my channel. We're talking about ranking every single pool 5 card. Are they broken? Are they gonna work? How does the super ultra rare system feel? We're also gonna talk about new cards coming every week. It's been confirmed that we're gonna get new cards every week. Can they keep up with it? How is it gonna look? Is it okay not having every card? And then card nerfs and buffs. We have confirmation as well that there's card adjustments coming. What cards are going to get nerfed? Which ones are going to be buffed? Excited to talk about that as well. That's all on my channel. Dude, I'm excited about today's topics.
Yeah, so let's get started with the best and worst pool 4 cards. Now, we're not going to do a complete rundown here. We're going to pick a couple each and discuss them because, this podcast could be 7 hours long. If you let Cozy and I just keep talking, you guys won't know this, but off camera, we just keep talking, guys. So, we got to hold ourselves to some sort of standard of time. So Cozy, let's begin. Now, I'm going to start with you because I would love to hear your thoughts on what you believe is the best Series 4, not Pool 4, Series 4 card that was introduced to us.
It's gonna take some time for me to get used to Series and Pool. I'm being honest. It's gonna take time. I don't know if I'm gonna hop the ship right away. It's stop trying to make fetch happen. But I want to start with what I think the best card is in the patch by a mile, and it's not just because of her specifically, and I'm glad it's a notable character, but I think She-Hulk, man. I think She-Hulk is far and few between the best looking card in Pool 4. Now, whether your thoughts on the show was good or bad on Disney Plus is besides the point. The reason why I think she's so great is right now, Death has such a strong presence in the top of the meta because it's a card that you can affect the value of the cost. She costs well above 6, right? So a She-Hulk costs 1 less for each unspent energy last turn. So naturally, all of you Sunspot Infinite lovers are going to be able to kind of marry a card with that, and that's the obvious combo. But Alex, I think with Magic, I think with powerful combinations with some Series 5 cards that we talked about on my video, dude, She-Hulk looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a pretty damn cool card. It's a really interesting design. One of the things I love about Marvel Snap is some cards really kind of take these design elements and own them. And this unspent energy effect of Sunspot, She-Hulk, and Infinite, I think is this trifecta of a really cool design. And I think it's a really neat thing for the game. And there's so many deck ideas that rush through your head the moment you think about it.
I've got one that I want to just make known now. Okay, you might see it on somebody's YouTube video later on. This is the one that I was kind of thinking up at night. I love Electro. All right, ramp Electro decks. My thought is running an Electro deck where you have the ability, whether through Viper, because so many people, I have a full video on him, but so many people don't realize when you play Electro, you get the on reveal of max energy for the rest of forever, and then you get the ongoing of 1 card. But if you destroy him or give him away through Viper or whatever, then you lose that ability, but you keep the energy. I think a ramp deck with Electro is going to have She-Hulk be for free. You can have her for nothing on turn 5.
That's such an amazing idea. Basically, so what you're saying is use Electro that ramps She-Hulk.
Yep.
but plays like a Sandman for the other opponent.
Yep.
That is just ingenious. It really is.
It's a Viper play. I can't wait, dude. Electro, I climbed to Infinite with ramp on this season, and it got me thinking. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I like honestly. By the way, your video was incredible. Definitely, if you've not seen the video, guys, if you've not seen the video yet, you gotta check it out. It's absolutely god tier. But yeah, your ramp deck was awesome.
Thanks,
and I think that She-Hulk's gonna slide just in there perfectly.
Dude, it's gonna be nuts. And Electro, just keeps getting more love. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So, what is your favorite card? It's starting with the best. What is the best of the best?
My best. Okay, I have a fun one too, but the one that I think is absolutely incredibly awesome is Luke Cage.
Okay.
Luke Cage. See, there, Luke Cage is. Your cards can't have their power reduced. Now, there's a card that pretty much no one plays in Marvel Snap, and this is what's crazy. We mentioned this in one of our other videos, where sometimes the design space changes where cards get buffs, like indirectly, right? We talked about this like Quicksilver. Quicksilver sucked. We all talked about like how bad Quicksilver was, but maybe down the line there's a card or there's a location or there's something that happens, much like we saw with Crystal and Vibranium Mines, that suddenly it's like, hey, this card's relevant. Like Cozy, the card becomes relevant, and that card is Hazmat. Hazmat is awful, and pretty much like how bad is Hazmat, Cozy?
Yeah, so I have the pull 3 tier list coming up, right? And she was a tough one to place. I think Hazmat fits in just such situational toxic decks. You're right, like you have to, because it affects yourself, man. It affects yourself. I think Hazmat's best usability is against zoo decks where you don't have a lot of cards out and they do. And Luke Cage solves that answer for like all decks. I agree.
Like Luke Cage comes out, and then you have Hazmat, like with like if you can do like a Wong Mystique, like if you can get out Onslaught, and you can do like the massive combo where you just completely dismantle their entire side of the board while your board's sitting there like, hey, we're unaffected. How fun is this? Like that is amazing. Like I think the Luke Cage Hazmat combination is going to be absolutely god tier. But that like I don't know. I love this card. I think it's a really cool card, and not only that, but you have locations like Negative Zone, right? That now.
Yeah.
Are just non-issues. Like I think this is a great card.
Yeah, so that's why I had him high up on my list too, is what you just said. I think having a Colossus for your entire deck, that like Colossus not being able to move, who gives a damn? Colossus not being able to have his power reduced, which is very nice about the card. Having this across the board, I also think that yes, having the Wombo combo of Hazmat with Wong is cool. But I also think Typhoid Mary instantly, poof, gets extreme value. Extreme value, a card that's never used. I think that Typhoid is going to get a lot of love with Luke Cage. I like the pick. Luke is definitely up there on my list to unlock. Is he your first card?
He's a little weak for like a 2/1 is not good though.
Yeah, what I like though is that he does have an ongoing effect. So like Spectrum and stuff, like Invisible Woman and Quinjet, you have to play right now to get that quick cheap value. So yeah, you're gonna have to kind of build him up in some ways, but I'm pumped they made him a good card too. What a fun character. I'm a fan of the Street Heroes. Okay, cool. So that's your best. Do you want me to give you my next worst or my second best?
Yeah, hit me with your worst. I'm interested in hearing your worst. And I'll hit you with my fun one.
Yeah, so I think, it's tough to ever find like a bad card in Marvel Snap. I think in Baku, everyone's like, but you can buff them up and you get a free like 6-cost play later. If I'm being honest, Maria Ill or Robin Schabrowski, you Canadian from How I Met Your Mother, is probably the worst out of this series 4. Now, I did mention on my side of the video that I think Thanos actually might utilize her to pull the stones. But dude, getting a random 1-cost? Like, if you could pick your 1-cost, then, sign me up. But dude, a random 1-cost? That's virtually useless. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't feel great, but I think she's probably my worst. I like what they did, but I don't think she's gonna be the best. I like the art and the character. What are your thoughts?
I mean, with Quinjet, right? That's basically a free play. So she's a 2/3. You have a Quinjet on the board. It's a free 1-cost play. But you're right. Like, it doesn't feel great. Like, I like that the card exists. I think it's a cool design. But sometimes you need something a little more reliable to win a game. And I don't think this works like... I don't know. I'm really torn about this because I love the collector style decks. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
So the only thing I was going to say, right? Because I think Marvel Snap does a phenomenal job of not making any card feel bad. When we're saying the worst, we're saying out of the best ones, right?
Yeah.
I will say Devil Dinosaur is so prevalent in the meta. The fact that we now have a 2-cost option, Sentinel was the one to use at that point, but now you can go Agent 13 to Maria Ill to You have White Queen in there, right? Sentinel was that role a little bit. But that's where I like her the most, is to continue to fuel that style of deck.
Yeah, you're right. And listen, I think we need options. And I think that this is like one of those cards that this will be like the first one that gets pushed to pool 3, by the way. I think because like it's not like a game breaking effect. Like when we talked on your channel about like Galactus and Thanos and like, those are like really massive effects. This is a pretty run the mill effect, right?
Yeah. Like I wouldn't use her for the token. Yeah. Don't use your tokens. Is what I
I don't know. You're right. I think you nailed it. Like I think this is the one that's the least impressive.
Okay.
But if you want to scroll down just a bit.
Yeah, I was like, give me one more good one. Oh, hit me.
This is the one. And talking about random, okay, chat's gonna be like, Alex, screw you, because you literally just said that Maria's not that good because it's random and you can't depend on it. Now I'm gonna say that I really like Agent Coulson. You're like, bro, why? Like it's basically the same card except it's 3/4.
No, I like it,
but
man.
It's not.
I like it. No, I do. I've seen him like ranked low on people's lists. Dude, I think he's fun. I don't think he's the best, but I think
he's fun.
Tell me, like, tell me your reasons, because I like it.
Okay, my reasons is because first of all, I like Quinjet. Secondly, because you literally get a guaranteed curve. And yes, there's some terrible 4-cost cards. There's some terrible 5-cost cards. You're good. But like when you do the math, just like with the raft, right? Yes, you might get a total grief, like the raft's on the left side and you get Giganto, and that's going to happen sometimes. But Cozy, sometimes you get an amazing card. And if you actually do the law of averages, the card you get's usually pretty damn good. It's just good.
Yes. Okay. And I love you. This is why I agree. Nick Fury, right? Nick Fury's fun. I make him work in some Devil Dinosaur decks. But he's not great because you have like Destroyer, Hela, cards that are virtually useless once you get them. There are 5 costs, I would say, honestly, there's only a couple bad ones. 5 cost is a strong cost card. 4, there's anything under the sun. But I agree, dude. You get Guaranteed Curve. Devil Dino, again, hello. That's 2 more cards in your deck. Like, please and thank you. Come on down. But, dude, I think that the fact that you can kind of run a bit more heavy-weighted on 6 cost and maybe a little bit more in the early game and then rely on him and some of his pulls. Dude, I think people are thinking he's a lot worse than he is. Would I say he's the best? No. But I like where you're going with it, bud.
I just like the card. I think it's super fun. Like, I'm going to be playing this. I don't care if it loses me games. It's one of those cards I just want to play. Also, I'm a huge Agent Coulson fan. What can I say? I love the character. Yes. Like, I love the character.
Did you watch the show?
That's all I'll say.
Agent of Shields? Did you watch the show?
Sorry?
Did you watch the show, too? The Agent of Shields show?
No, I haven't yet. So I'm actually making my way through the MCU to the dismay of many as I make very inaccurate lore claims. Currently, my wife and I just finished watching Thor Dark World. That was terrible.
I was going to say thoughts. Yeah.
So we're working our way through it. We're watching all the shorts. We're on like Disney Plus. We're going through like the chronological order of one, like the timeline order. So we're getting there.
Comment down below your least favorite MCU movie. I got to see what people are saying, and it's just going to be a bunch of Thor: The Dark Worlds for the most part. Okay, I want to talk about the best card, and then I think we should talk about one together. But one I want to talk about that I think it could be the best, even more than She-Hulk. Look, dude, Mystique is...
You might have to scroll up again.
Yeah. Mystique is most notably the first unlock, or one of them that you should get from the token shop. Clearly busted. Now you add that to Absorbing Man, and the fact that you have, if the last card you played has an on-reveal effect, it copies it. Bro, like,
it's good.
What? This is going to be great. Yeah, you can counter it a bit. Yeah. But what? The possibilities at a 4-cost option, I think, are pretty nutty. I think they're pretty nutty. Like, what's the best thing you can think of off the top of your head on-reveal-wise? Curious.
Maximus, if you want to throw cubes away.
I was like, what? Yes.
Got you by surprise. Your face was like, what?
I was working through the details. I'm like, what metagame is he working around right now? I'm like, no, I have
the metagame where I donate cubes like Mr. Beast.
Yeah, like Mr. Beast. But yeah, so on reveal effects, they're notably much stronger than ongoing effects. Goodness gracious. They're much stronger than ongoing effects for the reason that they only happen once. But now that you can copy and emulate that, I think that's what keeps things super crazy with him. And again, my mind goes to ramp decks, Alex. It goes to ramp decks. Doctor Doom, Odin twice, another Odin, an Odin on an Odin. We're going to start having like some onslaught crazy multipliers. I don't know. You know
which one I really like for real, not memeing?
Yeah, what?
This is going to be spicy.
Here we go.
Storm. I'll tell you why. You storm 2 locations,
Have him pick
right?
one.
You storm two locations. You play Wong on 5. You play your Doombots on 6, and the opponent's just like, what was I even supposed to do?
Oh, I like it. Make him pick between them two. Yeah, it's like a control option. I'm good with
Seriously.
that. That's a sexy pick. That's fun. I like
Yes, I
it.
know you'd like that. You love control. I know you would like that.
I'm a control guy. Yeah, so I think he's gonna most notably be one of the first unlocks I have, if not the first one in pool 4. The last card I want to talk about before our next subject, dude, is if I can find the card here. There we go. We've got Atuma. So what do you think about Atuma?
I think that it needs to be stronger than 410
Oh.
because Green Goblin just absolutely munches this card so easily. There's so many issues with this card, and like really it's just Namor, except it explodes if like I don't see it. I don't see how this card's good. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope that someone clips this video and is like, hey, Alex, remember when you said this card sucked and now it's S tier and you suck? That's what I want.
Okay,
Koji,
I can do that
talk
right
me
now.
out of my
I can do it
opinion.
right now. Yeah. Dude, I'm just gonna throw some things out there, right? So, how does a 613 sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. And how about well, this one's not as like juicy. But let me just get to the point. My favorite cards in the game are I love control. So Professor X is my boy. He's my man. He's my guy. And so to have a beautiful follow-up of just being able to go, oh, Atuma, Professor X, instantly 13 value. He can't die. You're not going to win that lane. You lose. Or Armor is a tech card ran in everybody's deck. You throw down Armor, then you throw down Atuma, and all of a sudden you have a 4-10 that's not going to die. So keeping it from dying, or 0, by the way, like keeping it from dying, I think is what is obviously the meta about it. Yes, he's situational, but Armor alone is ran across the board. I think that 613, done.
You're right, but you know what pisses me off about this card? And I don't... My friends at second dinner, if you could answer me this question, why is this not an ongoing ability?
Oh, yeah, right.
Why is Namor an ongoing ability and this one not? Namor can get hit by Spectrum. This one can't. Right? Where does it work? Where does it work that this is not a ongoing ability?
There's some cards like that, right? Like Sunspot and stuff. I'm sure there's some math well above my head that they have the reasoning for. But yeah, I just think, again, it's not like he's working with like only a couple bad cards. The fact that he works with cards that are ran today in the meta decks is why I think he's going to be so good. He's a bit situational, but I will definitely be unlocking him, Alex. You don't have to. I'll do it for you, and I'll let you know.
You know what? I hope I'm wrong. This card might be poo.
If it's wrong, I will be the first to admit it, buddy. But all right, so I think those are good to talk about those cards. The rest of them I think are pretty solid as well. Like, man, we could talk about Tatiana for multiple reasons forever.
I just came to a realization. One of my favorite combos in the game is Rescue into Professor X. And what you just said is better than Rescue Professor X. Atuma into Professor X is just better. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm already wrong. Maybe I regret everything I've said. Can we record this or what?
Yeah, press it. Nope, it's stuck. All right, so let's go. Let's go to the next subject, buddy. And now we're going to start talking about net decking. Now, a lot of players to Marvel Snap are new to card games. So first, why don't you just say, hey, Alex, what the hell are you talking about? What is net decking? Explain to the audience.
Well, Cozy, I'm glad you kind of framed it that way because it is an interesting discussion. So basically, net decking is the concept of essentially just like, okay, I want to just know what's on the meta, and you just, YouTube, top meta, best meta deck, and you get everyone's videos that we've all titled that way, and you're like, boom, you click a video, and you just copy that deck, and you're like, huh, this deck is the best deck. Everyone's saying it's the best deck. I'm just going to play this deck nonstop, right? So that is one of those things that I think can be somewhat unhealthy sometimes. And that's why we release so many different variations of different guides, different decks, different styles for different folks, right? We do that kind of stuff. And I think it's valuable that Marvel Snap, when you enter a game, you can't just be like, well, this guy's just going to play a Patriot list because that's just the best list. That's just objectively the best list, right? The thing with net decking is that it can be unhealthy for the game in the sense that, like, I remember playing Hearthstone, right? I loved Hearthstone. It's the reason why I even signed up for this beta, because when I heard it was Ben Brode's game, I was like, hell yeah, I loved Hearthstone, but it had problems, and one of them was net decking. Basically, the problem with it was that you released like 250 cards all at once, Cozy. You remember like those big expansions? 250 cards drop. people immediately start figuring out which cards are the best. And then you use your dust, which is the Hearthstone equivalent of the tokens, and you just craft like the one deck that's the best.
Yeah.
And you would play that for like 2 months before it got nerfed. And you just played that one deck. And everyone else just played that one deck. And the deck building scene or the deck building element of the game was like almost non-existent. And people really just focused on that one specific deck. And the beautiful thing about Marvel Snap, and something that, again, we talk about how like Marvel Snap and Second Dinner, they learned lessons from games before it. They clearly didn't want that with the collection-based system, because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted people to be able to craft their own decks based on their own circumstance.
Yeah.
Because,
no,
like,
go ahead.
Cozy, go, like, please, I need your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think first they already do a good job, right? I mean, we just talked about with the new cards coming out every week, like everyone's just gonna have to get used to. You're not gonna have all the cards. They probably don't want you to, and I think that's okay. I know that feels weird for some people. You've got two camps of players, and it's in every game, man. Whether it's Overwatch, using the exact 6 heroes to have the best team to give you the best shot to win, right? That's always in every game is what's the meta, and there'll always be meta or meta cards or meta combos. I 100% agree that this keeps it from becoming Hearthstone. And we talked about on mine, like the week-by-week release allows them to adjust a card and each card to get more of a spotlight. And I think that's going to be more healthy for the game overall. But yeah, dude, it's so exciting as a creator for this game to know that there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all, that everybody is truly going to have different decks. All of my deck guys, Alex, every single one of mine have optional cards and cards of a pick one. Hey, here are 4 cards that work really well. What style do you like? What cards do you unlock? Which cards do you have? Now, pool 1, 2, and 3 are a bit more linear, but when you introduce the option of like cards that I don't have, you don't have, hell, on future shows, hello future us, what's up? You might talk about a card that I'm like, dude, I don't know what that card does. I've seen it twice or I've played it twice. That's so fresh. I like it. I think it's going to be
awesome.
It's going to keep on introducing what I think is so great about this game. Fast snap, like that the feel that they are creating around it, that there's not this, hey, let me go to this website, look at the top tier, which half the time are wrong. Not half the time, but I think that, like, for instance, Two Devils is a Daredevil Dino. That's not even mentioned right now in the meta, and it's one of the strongest decks in the game. So
100%.
I love it. I think creativity matters. I think that there's so many decks out there right now, Alex, that are the best decks we don't even know about, and this will continue to do it.
And the thing I'm kind of worried about, Cozy, is like, what if this is one of those situations where it's like, I'll be careful of what you wish for situation. Like, I understand the frustration with not being able to get the card you want, but like that means everyone else isn't getting the card that they want. They don't have the perfect deck either. And that makes the collection system, that makes the deck building, that makes everything way more interesting sometimes, right? I'm really worried that the token system might like bring the meta to a screeching halt, because people are like, they get it, they get the cards they want, they build that Patriot Mystique list, and then they're like, I'm so bored of this game, I'm sick of playing Patriot Mystique, but it's the only deck I have, and I don't have enough tokens to build anything else. Whereas if the tokens were never part of the equation, you would have been like, well, I got Patriot, I don't have Mystique yet, but you know what? I'm going to put in Cyclops. I'm going to experiment with this. Maybe I'll throw a Heimdall in for the memes. And like suddenly you start experimenting in a way you wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like, I don't like tokens, because I think they're an amazing addition. And there's something to be said with like, if 80% of the community wants them, right? Then like, you should appease your community. Like if it's something that people are asking for, then there's definitely merit to it.
Yeah.
I just have like this part of concern to me.
I get that. I think the 8 hours cycle, I think, is a good fit. I get you saying that, you know, if they get their Patriot, whatever deck, they're done experimenting. I love that you brought that up. Because first, let me just say the 8 hour cycle is going to be great, because you guys, you're not going to have a problem finding cards. If you want a card enough, the pin feature is unheard of in a game. I freaking love that. And that's going to allow you to, awesome. You're going to be able to get your card no matter what. Free to play, not whatever. And I don't know if you're ready to go to the next subject, but I wanted just to say this. I think one thing that's going to help with that, of like, Patriot's the way, this is the way, blah, 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 blah. The most anticipated roadmap update that I have is friendly battles, because of competitive play and tournaments and top of the top, that's the best. Because guess what? Perfect. Everyone's going to be using whatever deck. And by far, my most excited feature, and I'll let you talk about yours, but my most is competitive play. Because some guy's going to roll up some whatever, and he's going to be using a deck, and you're like, what the hell is those combos? I've never heard
I
of
love it.
And so that's
right.
I want to talk more about it when we get to that, but that's what I think is going to help with that.
Well, we can talk about the most anticipated roadmap update
Okay.
now, but I just to kind of close off the net decking, you're right, and it's one of those things where like let's not forget what makes this game so amazing. The collection system, right, is a great addition. The token system might like correct everything that has been a kind of a pain in everyone's side, but the amazing thing is if it doesn't work as anticipated, guess what's going to happen? Second Dinner's going to make adjustments.
Yeah, they're great.
They've already proven that they're going to be listening. And if it doesn't have the intended effect that they want or that we want, or again, that be careful what you wish for situation, they'll fix it. But ultimately, I do think there is a lot of value because I think that it was like by far the most requested thing. My comment section was filled with people like just upset that they didn't have the card that they really wanted. And at the end of the day, this is a game. We're supposed to have fun. And if people aren't having fun because they don't have the cards they want to have fun with, then maybe it's definitely worth this. But so I love that you bring up the PvP system. Sorry, Coach, did I just interrupt?
Yeah, the last thing I was going to say is I just love like when I played in the beta, and again, I had the advantage of the beta, so like I knew the game wasn't out yet.
Same.
Like, dude, I got terrible card pulls. And that's what made me become creative and held probably responsible of why I'm a content creator for the game. Like, I was forced. I didn't get Mystique till my last card. I didn't get Doctor Doom till my third to last card. I didn't get these. Wong was my second to last card, dude. Those are all three like top tier cards. But it encouraged me to do more crazy stuff. But I get both ends. It's different when it's global release. But that I don't know. I enjoyed the fun aspect of it. But I get the sweaty side too.
You know what's wild? I actually unlocked Wong as one of my first cards.
Oh, I hate.
And I didn't play him. I didn't even play him. You know why? Because there was no one making. There was very, very little content for the game. I was experimenting and learning on my own. And guess what? I didn't realize he was good.
It's because it was flooded with Mr. Negative and Helidex, and everyone's just spamming.
Yeah, but guess what? But that's why guys like you and I exist.
Yeah.
Because now we've built up those hundreds and hundreds of hours of experience, and that's why our content, I think, reaches so many people and actually resonates with people because we've made the mistakes, right? Oh. And so you're right. It's it's such a good game. I get so excited for every new feature. I am excited for tokens because guess what? I'm going to be unlocking some Pool 5 cards, Series 5 cards, and Cozy, we're going to talk about that in your channel anyways. So you got to check out Cozy's video because I chose some spicy cards.
Spicy.
All right. Most anticipated roadmap update. So here's the roadmap on the screen. Cozy was ready. And this is not editing, guys. This is live. He did that live. He was that ready. But okay, so you talked about the competitive modes. He's back. So the one for me is in development side. So they've released the collector. Well, they're going to be releasing collector tokens. They have the titles. See that PC widescreen UI? That is by far
Give it to me.
My most anticipated feature. And I know that's crazy because I love the competitive and friends battle mode. Because I mean, Cozy, is it fair to say that when that battle mode comes out, that our communities are going to be on fire with playing tournaments and stuff like that? Like, I can't wait. I cannot wait to play games with my community.
I'm ready to talk about that in a moment for sure. But the PC widescreen, like they really took the PC early access to heart, bro. There's been bugs on that thing since launch, and they're like, that's it. That's what we're doing. We're gonna. You can't play with your decks on your left or right side of the screen. You better move them over. I don't know if that happens to you. Like, there's just the experience, and I think with that is gonna come like a history mode where you can see what was just played and things like that.
Yeah.
Because it's widescreen, they have to fill that gap somehow. They can't just have space. Maybe they do. I don't know. But yeah, dude, without question, the in development side, they brought out titles already, which I think are fun, man. They make fun of themselves. The titles are great. But let's talk battle mode versus friends. We're gonna have a full snapshot. It might be on the next one where we talk about competitive snap. It's where my heart is the most, bud. I love content creating, and I love fun decks, man. I'm the guy that does like only X-Men, whatever. But
yeah, me too. I love it.
But I'm a sweaty man. I love competitive play too. And I think that being able to show people and showcase, do you think you're the actual best? Well, then you're going to have your chance with these big creator tournaments or big tournaments in general. I think that we're going to see things come out of the woodworks that we've never heard of before. And the scene behind it, that is what's going to truly see if Snap is going to last 10 years or whatever, is if it's a competitive game with a big backing of it. And I think it's going to. I think it's an easy game, that sponsors, all that are going to want to get behind. Dude, I'm pumped. I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm
so pumped too. And one thing that I think is so important, Cozy, seriously, think about this for a second.
Okay.
The types of decks that do really well in like standard 1v1 ladder situations are not the same decks that are going to be good in competitive mode when you have like the 10 HP system and you're playing the same person multiple times, because if you have that like cheeky Heimdall turn 6 play, it's only going to work once.
Yep.
So like you have to have a different design headspace when you're building a deck, because you're going to be going, it's like a playoff series in the NBA or in the NHL.
Oh, without question, you have to. Yeah, great example. You have to come up with unique
totally
stuff.
Different situation.
So you have to have decks that do multiple win conditions in multiple ways, and that's a lot of the strong decks. But you're right. There's no more like, aha, he wasn't expecting this like one-off combo. Dude, it's gonna be fun. And I also think it'll be interesting too, because sometimes like and again, not to bring up Overwatch, but like the best top heroes for competitive play are not the best for casual play, man. Like there's just a skill gap or just different thinking than regular. But yeah, without question, man, creator tournaments, me doing and I know you'll do the same, community tournaments of like, all right, let's see which one of you SOBs is the best, right? But I keep forgetting you were a teacher, bud. Sorry. No,
it's okay.
But yeah, so that's definitely up there. And as far as roadmap, they said they're going to release a more extensive one in the December month, which to me shows, I thought we were going to get friend battles before that. I think that means we're going to get it a bit after. But you get new competitive modes, guilds, and social systems, in-game events. What out of those, what do you like?
I'm going to lean towards, well, first of all, they have in-game events, but they're absolutely awful.
Garbage.
But they're terrible. I didn't even know they were happening. Chad was like, hey, Alex, you have to hand in your whatever things. I'm like, bro, I'm not even going to bother.
I know.
I got to tell you, I think the guild and social systems is incredibly important for the health of this game. As much as I would like to see the mythic variants, the guild and social systems is sorely lacking. Like, I have gotten a bunch of my friends into Marvel Snap, and they send me, pics and tweets and stuff of like epic deck boards that they have or decks that are designing. But without an actual proper guild or social system, it's hard to kind of stay connected and get excited about it. And that was something Hearthstone had, right? Like, it was cool to be able to like spectate your friend in a match, or to be able to see that they were in a match at all and, challenge them. And I think that social part of the game is so important. And I think it is lacking. Like, you kind of feel like you're playing in a little bit of a vacuum. For us, it's different because we're content creators, so like we get to share that experience. Like, we have our own guilds on our YouTube channel almost, right? But I think it is an incredibly important element of this game, and I really hope they land it.
I agree 100%. The thing I'll say about it is the only thing I hope they don't do with it is that mobile games do this all the time, and they do this because it's good for the company, not for the player base. Is that they have like where you can have 50 people in a club, guild, whatever. And if everybody logs in that day or everybody does this, they get something to contribute to the guild, and that's fun. But then it creates pressure to play a game rather than fun. And I've seen it done so many times where people are like, gotta go do my effing dailies, and it's like it makes it a chore, because of course you want to get the most benefit of getting extra credits, right? And I think they're gonna do it because it's smart, because it gets people to play the game every day. But I don't like it. I think it's garbage. I hate the system. That's the con that I hope they don't do, but I agree 100%.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Like, I don't know anything about it, but I've heard like Clash had like some of that like negativity
dailies.
Around it.
They call them dailies.
But then there was like Destiny has a system that I think works really well, where it's like much more casual, and like you have like a guild, and like even if you weren't able to participate that week, you still get the unlocks. But like,
yeah,
I don't know. I think they'll probably do it right. Like, they've done everything right.
And to speak to that, like the dailies, guys, the weeklies and dailies, they've already fixed that. You can now just refresh. If you missed a day, you can refresh. I know you have to use gold, but I like that you can now catch up. And if you get the amount of refreshes that a week would be if you miss a day playing. So they already are aware that they don't want to force people to play. So I think you're correct. But the feature on the last list that I want to talk about that I think goes with social is Infinity leaderboards. Number one, that's not going to make people feel alone, or just leaderboards in general, because you're seeing these other names, other whatever spotlights. But they've got to fix. They've got to fix post 100. And I get that the majority, I think it's like 7% of the people I polled are in Infinity. But I think they've got to fix what that looks like. And that does go with competitive. But I think a leaderboard system would be really cool. I don't know how they're going to do it the right way. But that's cool. I think it highlights the best of the best and whatever, all that stuff, not just to be sweaty all the time. But I think leaderboards and Infinity play is going to be important as well.
Yeah, it is most certainly. Like, I think it definitely has its place. I think there's a lot of people that are really interested, especially when like you get the competitive play modes. People are going to want to follow the storylines about who's on top and who's competing in tournaments and stuff like that. Like, for me personally, like, I'll never be number one, and I don't have that energy, right? I am too busy playing waifu decks on stream, which are just absolutely terrible. But anyways, it's like one of those things where it's like, I think that there is, especially when competitive comes out, I think you're right. I think that having that type of system is important. And also you're right. It really helps to kind of bring the community together. It helps to bring a more of a social element together. And again, it's lacking right now. We kind of feel kind of dispersed, don't we? So it's a great point, Cozy. I really appreciate that.
And imagine combining that with the guilds too, right? Like you could, like me and you in the same guild, and I see him like, man, Alex is at 73. That SOB. I'm gonna get. It gives me drive, right? I'm gonna try to try to get above him or whatever.
I'm gonna stream snipe him and snap on him.
Yeah, on your waifu decks. Yeah, I'll be using my pixel deck onlys and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I 100% agree, man. I think there's a lot to look forward to. I'm super excited about the roadmap in December that we're gonna get because we've already knocked down almost 2 boxes, so we get another box, maybe. Alex, I'm pumped, dude.
Yeah, we got to give Second Dinner credit. Like, they have been working hard. Let's not forget, this game's only been out for a month, guys, and they have done so much work. We're getting, I almost just had a trouble saying it. We're getting Series 4 and Series 5, right? We're getting all these updates. We're getting balance patch stuff. We're getting, guys, it's incredible the amount of stuff we're getting. And you know what you guys get? You guys get to watch Cozy's video next. It's linked right in the middle here, and you guys got to check it out. We ranked the pool 5 cards. I did it already. I already failed myself. We ranked the Series 5 cards. We talk about new cards every week. We're talking about the nerfs, guys. Check it out.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. It was fun being on again, buddy. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Next week, guys. Love you all.